their need one day. But 95% of it is junk. But you just keep piling it up. Because one day, you know you're going to rummage through it, and you're going to find that screwdriver. We have been accumulating junk all our lives in our subconscious mind. And the biovibrational science, even coming into it at this point in my life, or this coordination in my life, it's never too late. You're never too old. You're never too young. We have to clean up our junk drawers. I read a whole lot, and I came across something very profound that said, you know, when you're practicing something, oftentimes, you know, as a student, you want to take notes. And sometimes you take so many notes that you miss the practice of the physical art. And this particular master said, you know, allow your mind to become the pen and your body the notebook. Wow. You know, and it resonated with me. And I shared this with Acharya, but then every single strong, when I'm up here and while Vishnu is doing the mantra, and after he does the mantra, he says another mantra that our Acharya had written, and it starts off, written in my subconscious mind. Written in my subconscious mind is the divine truth. And every single strong, we are reminded. Come on. See, read just means to happen again. You already have a mind. And I was just reminded that I've heard that before. Come on. I hear it all the time. Right. Acharya has been telling me that my body is the notebook. My mind is the pen. Come on. Your body is the notebook. Your mind is the pen. Your body is the notebook. Your mind is the pen. You are walking with your mantras. You are walking with your notes. You are resonating with your divine purpose. You just can't find it because you're in a junk drawer. Clean up the junk drawer and find the right tools. Say it now. That's all I got to say. Thank you. I want to welcome up our Acharya. That's right.
The highest greeting that I can give to anyone is to acknowledge the beautiful and divine in them, even as I acknowledge the beautiful and divine in myself. I therefore greet all of you in the ancient words spoken by all masters in all generations. I am.
I am.
Thanks to all of those who have come before me, and thanks to you for coming out and working on your own self-empowerment. Give yourselves a big hand for being here. So glad to see all of you moving in the direction of empowering yourselves and being your highest and most beautiful expression of consciousness in the universe. Ashe?
Ashe.
We are on our the second part of the series on the Orishas. And I may preface every week by saying this, but I certainly will say it again today. And that is that when we begin to talk about the Orishas or the Neter, our attempt is not to convey to you the teachings as they have been given in the Ife tradition. Our attempt is not to express to you a microcosm or of the Yoruba traditions. And that is true whether we're talking about African spirituality or whether we're talking about some aspect of Christianity or Islam or any of the so-called religious expressions. We're not trying to meet you where you are or were. We are not receiving information through some type of initiation.
Right. That's right. Come on. Come on.
I could have stayed home if I was going to do that. I'm just being honest. Our teaching in biovibrational science is an expression as the universe speaks to us directly.
Correct. Say that.
Okay? And that expression of universal consciousness does not just come through me.
Right.
It comes through you.
Come on now.
And one of the fundamental problems we've had, and one of the fundamental things that has exploited us in Western European religion, right, is the idea that you need to be led.
Right there.
You don't need to be led anywhere. Your mind may need to be open to yourself. Every leader or spiritual teacher should be a facilitator that helps you to discover yourself.
That's right.
Not somebody that you bow down to, worship, or express as they are the highest level of expertise in the field.
That's right. Come on, man.
Everybody
Come on.
that has ever brought a teaching, right? The first person that did it, the first person that taught Reiki,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
The first person that used asana or that particular branch of yoga, all of those people had to come first to themselves.
Come on, man.
The teaching was expressed first to them,
Yeah.
and then they taught other people.
Right
Come
here.
on, man.
And what eventually happened was those people began to look at the teacher on a higher level than they looked at themselves. To the point that they became subservient and slaves to that particular personality rather than finding themselves.
Yeah.
Are you understanding what I'm saying?
Yes.
But none of the master teachers ever wanted you to do that. Yeshua said, this you will do and greater. Well, you can't do something greater than your teacher if you're always going to be beneath the teacher. You understand what I'm saying?
Break it all right there.
Come on.
So, you have to understand, I'm not speaking to the second nature.
Come on.
Every human being has two natures, and we talked about this over time.
That's right.
So, the second nature is the social fantasy.
That's it. That's right. Say it.
How you have been programmed to think
Thank you.
based on material expression.
That's right. Right there.
In the second nature, you got male and female.
Right. Right on. Come on, man.
And I know over the last couple of weeks, some folks that got upset, you know what I mean, about that. I don't care. I could care less whether you like it or not.
Hey, straight up, man.
I ain't coming this incarnation to waste time.
Right.
And you've got to understand, as long as the social fantasy can get you to box yourself in to gender,
Come on.
to nationality,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Or to any material definition,
Say it, sir.
then they can also create the mechanisms by which you can be controlled.
Right.
Yeah, they can.
Play you. Come on.
And
man.
you have to see the dispensation of leadership
Right.
as coming to constantly evolve you to higher and higher levels.
That's right.
Are you understanding what I'm saying? So, whereas Garvey is a seed,
Come on.
whereas Malcolm is a seed,
Come on.
whereas Jeremiah Benny Ajimon is a seed, you're not supposed to stay there.
Come on, sir. Come on, folks. Bro. Come on, man.
What the hell is wrong with us?
Come on, man.
That's why we're facing the same thing we've been facing.
Right.
Because we if they come out with a new iPhone, we get it.
That's right.
If they come out with a new fashion, you get that.
Yeah.
So why don't you think spirituality needs to evolve? Why don't you think that your understanding of ancestral spirit or Kemetic sciences need to evolve?
That's right, brother.
If they were what they needed to be, you wouldn't be in the condition you're in.
That's right.
You wouldn't be talking about, I can't find nobody.
Come on. That's right.
You wouldn't be saying the same thing about your kids your grandma said about us.
Right.
Yeah.
Repetition. Come on.
At some point,
Come on.
we have to evolve.
That's right.
So those of us that consider ourselves scientists enter into this place as a laboratory.
That's right. Whoa.
Because we have decided and come to the conclusion that the old methodologies are played out.
That's right. Out.
So we're going to wean you off Western European religious exploitation.
That's right.
Some now y'all got to bear with it because some people going to move a little slower than others.
Come on.
Right?
Yeah, right.
Some people going to be holding on to the Bible.
Yeah, right.
Please, I need to feel rich. Please, just call me a sinner one more time.
Stop it.
I'm serious.
Laid out. Laid out.
We want everybody to prosper.
Yeah.
You understand? I don't want to drive good, live good, and you poor.
Come on.
What the hell that look like? Well, brother, you just don't have the anointing that I have. Shut up! If we all don't make it, ain't none of us gonna make it.
All right.
You understand? And the litmus test is how you get treated when you go out there that what we have been doing has not worked.
Come on. Come
So
on.
that's the introduction.
Thank you.
Now we can get back to the Orishas. These beautiful energies
Come on, man.
that have been encapsulated in second nature definition.
That's right. Wow. Wow.
To the extent that those that would invoke these energies, and these are energies, these are forces.
Right.
When you talk about angels, those are forces of nature,
Come on. That's right.
right?
Yeah.
Not beings with wings on their back.
Right.
The wings are symbolic of knowledge, wisdom, and understanding.
Come on, brother. Break that down.
You understand?
Yes, sir.
So when you limit your psychology to that, you have moved away from really understanding that you have power over the forces.
That's right. Come on, man.
You can't no longer look at the Bible and the Quran as historical documents exclusively.
Right. Come on.
In fact, it is much more esoteric knowledge
Right.
than it is historical knowledge.
Right.
It is much more conceptual than it is literal.
Yeah.
And when you understand that, you can start to unlock the keys that have locked us in chains. Are you seeing that?
Come on.
So you don't get scared and differentiate
Yeah.
between Jibril,
Yeah.
right,
Yeah.
and Arullah,
Right.
Right.
Come on.
right?
Right.
You don't get scared and get cringy and say, oh, that's Raphael.
Come on.
That's the Lord's angel.
Come on, man.
But then run and hide under the couch when we start talking about Oshun.
Yeah. Come on, man. Break
Stop it.
Stop.
Right.
Because that's what came from you. The Orishas,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
The Ife, that's what came from you.
Come on.
That was replaced with something else.
Right.
Yes, yes.
Oh, you understand that?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
The Mani, for example, the Mani Congo in West Africa, right,
Yes, sir.
had a conflict, if you can believe, with the teachers and the ancestors and the shamans and the principal spiritual leaders of the village.
Right.
He was the king. He wanted to rule
Right.
over the people without any interference from the priest of the African spiritual tradition from which he came. So when the Portuguese come, right, and the Europeans come, and they come and bring trinkets and a lesser God, a lesser God,
Come on, man.
books contrived out of that, not an ankh, which is eternal life, and a key, right? But a symbol of death that X's you out. This man would regret changing his name to Alfonso. You go from being the mighty Congo to Alfonso and name all your babies, right? In European names. And put out the keepers of spirituality. I want you to understand that before Christianity, right, there was true Christianity. And before true Christianity, there was African spirituality. Before there was Islam, there was African spirituality. Are you understanding that?
Yes, yes.
And when we as a people, wherever we have been, be it Haiti, Cuba, right, Brazil, Colombia, wherever we have been, that we have turned again to our own spirituality, we have beaten the hell out of our oppressors.
Yes, we have.
It is only when we have lived with a watered down psychology, worshiping something outside of ourselves, that we haven't won.
Yes.
And the reason why those effective spiritual movements have been stopped is because they turn to the second nature of expression and begin to recognize the ancestral spirits and energies from the perspective of physicality, right? Rather than understanding them as energy expression. So this is where we're moving you to.
Come on.
Y'all all right?
Yes.
So last week we talked about a room. And when we talked about a room, we helped you to understand, and we're connecting them to the chakras. The chakras are not just in the body.
No.
That's the first myth. Number two, the chakras are not just 7 chakras.
Right.
There's more chakras than you can name. That's their energy stations.
Right.
How do you understand this? Well, first of all, you have to see yourself not just as an earth dweller.
Say it, man. Say it.
If you see yourself as confined to earth, then you negate the idea that your mind is actually above the terrestrial plane and directing the activities of the brain and thus the physical body. So that when somebody says you're brain dead and you're in a coma, you can make a comeback when that brain is activated by the mind. So that your ideas now are not born in the social fantasy. Your ideas are born above the terrestrial plane. So what we're telling you is that this energy of Arun, which is emanated from the Alumare, which is emanated from the unified energy field, comes to remind us of our identity.
Come on.
And that is what is connected to your root chakra.
Come on.
Your root chakra is connected to your identity. When you come through the triple darkness of the womb and you are born into materiality, that is actually the past.
Right. Come on. Come on.
The present happened when you were a thought in the unified energy field,
Right.
and you architecturally designed your track through this physical plane.
Right. It is. Right.
Your purpose for going through this physical plane is to build or strengthen the energy or the essence from which you came. Be fruitful and multiply.
Yeah, it is, brother.
Multiply what? Multiply the goddess nature within you. How will I do that? I will go to the gym called the earth.
Come on. Come on.
I will put myself in an incarnation and deal with the resistance of the flesh. I will work out my energy by testing it under diverse circumstances on multiple dimensions and multiple planes.
Right.
And when I have discovered that I still am that I am, then I will have strengthened myself to multiplication.
Oh, wow.
So the tree of the knowledge of good and evil is not an actual tree that you go pick fruit off of and have lunch. It is a psychology. It is a way of thinking where I'm embracing duality. How could the knowledge of good and evil ever be bad?
Come on, here it is. Come on.
That doesn't make sense within the Christian construct or within the Islamic construct. It can only be explained intellectually by understanding that this must be symbolic.
Yeah.
And the symbolism, good and evil, must be a representation of duality.
Right.
Well, what other choice do I have? I have the tree of life.
Come on.
In that expression, I am that I am.
Come on. There you go.
There is no good and bad,
Right.
because anything that is adverse to what I want is only building me.
Right. Right.
Negativity, thus, is a charge
Right.
that grounds the positivity into usable form. Are y'all all right?
Yes, sir.
I need you to think now.
Go!
So whatever happens that is adverse to what I want to happen,
Come on.
right, is an anticipatory, is a participant in the process of me becoming who I want to be. But if my psychology is that there's good and bad, then rather than seeing that as an opportunity, I will see it as a problem and be chained by it. This is the science of mind. And everybody that has ever been successful, if you study any of them, you will find this resident in their portfolio of thought.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You got to get that.
Yes, sir.
Because everybody and everything that rules you already is.
Ah.
It already is.
Oh.
When you see, coming back down to terrestrial plane for a minute, when you see expressions
Come on.
about this country, for example, you don't hear them saying anything negative.
No, they don't.
Oh, well, we were really a horrible group. We did this, that, and the other. They don't say that. Why? Because they're not going to express negativity about themselves, because they realize that that lowers their vibration. In order for you to achieve what you want in life through your mind, and that's the only way you will achieve it, your vibrational frequency has to be at optimal level.
That's right. Speak, brother. That's right.
So on the emotional guidance scale,
Yes, sir.
right, if you're not in a positive state,
Right.
you cannot produce what is in your mind.
That's right. Right.
In fact, if you're in a negative state, you will only draw more things to you through the law of attraction
Right.
that correspond with the negative identity and attitude that you have.
That's right.
So whereas you might say, I have a right to be angry, I have a right to be mad, I have a right to be depressed, I have a right not to like this person or not to like that person, I have a right to cry, I have a right to have a pity party, right? You can say that.
Yeah.
And half your friends will agree. Girl, you got it right. That's right, dog. I understand where you coming from, man. It's hell out here. Oh, that's wonderful. Great. But the biofrequency, the biovibrational frequency that leaves you on will cause you not to be able to attract into your life that which you want to attract.
Right.
In fact,
Come on.
if you stay in a negative state,
Come on.
you will not only attract what you don't want in support of that state, you will also begin to have toxic water. I'll get to that in a minute. I'm trying to get through this. But I need you to understand all of this. You can't hear this today and then turn around and forget it tomorrow.
That's right. Come on. Come on. That's
Because all of this builds on each other.
right.
You understand? You don't need to be like, oh man, that's deep. Yeah, multiply.
Right.
This is the classroom. You need to remember that. So, when we talk about Arun, that force of nature, that energy, we are talking about our identity, the I am vibration.
Exactly.
We're talking about the tree of life. We're talking about the fact that every good and perfect gift belongs to you. All positivity is yours.
Yes.
Okay? That now, we said last week, that means that the universe has not given us a spirit of fear.
That's right.
Which ultimately means that the universe and how we were never born to be in negativity. We were never born to be depressed. See, people are arguing over how you were born and what your material expression is meant to do. That's stupid. It's stupid to argue over gender. It's stupid to argue over race. All that's stupid. Right?
Yes, sir.
What you need to be concerned is, have they gotten you to believe that in your mind that you could be born to lose?
Come on.
Yeah.
There you go right there. That's it.
That you could have bad luck?
Right.
That you could be cursed?
Come on.
Come on, man, let's go.
If they could get you to believe that,
Yeah.
they said, well, nobody's trying to get me to believe that. The hell they ain't.
That's right.
They got a whole month dedicated just to that. Let's review the history.
Right.
We ruled you, you were less.
Right.
Right?
Right.
You had leaders, but they're dead now.
Right.
I was just talking to my wife and explaining to her, or talking to her about all of the people that were heroes
Come on.
that have been wiped out.
Let's go.
Right? Doesn't matter what they did wrong. The people that wiped them out did wrong too. But why were they wiped out? Why was it necessary for Cosby to be destroyed?
Why?
Why was it necessary for Michael Jackson to be destroyed?
Why?
Why was it necessary? It doesn't matter what they did. You getting it. Don't worry about that. I'm talking about the psychological impact of you seeing somebody that high and seeing them drop that low. Why? Because if I can disturb the I am vibration, then I can keep you from being anything that I am.
Wow.
You say, I don't know about I hear what you're saying. I don't know about the Abraham thing. I don't know about I don't know about the Islam thing. I don't know about the Christian. He said, before Abraham, this is the father of all of the Western European religious exploitation.
I am.
I am was before that. Well, what was I am? So, spirit of fear is not what you got. That's not what you're supposed to have.
Right.
You're supposed to have a power, the spirit of power, love, and a sound mind. What does power mean? Not just dominion over every creeping thing. Ooh, Lord. Y'all taking this brother through it over here. Look. Dominion over all of the forces of nature. If you limited yourself to only biblical expression, then all you got was creeping things. But if you expand your knowledge beyond the captivity of boundaries and you move into the Quran, then you add to it over all of the angels, right? All of the forces of nature must make obeisance to the human being. Are you seeing this?
Yes.
Yeah.
So, dominion over all of the forces.
Come on.
Think about that.
Come on.
Dominion over rain.
Come on.
Well, I don't know about that. When we needed rain,
There we go.
we made it rain.
Yes, sir.
Literally.
When we needed crops to grow, we had gods and forces that did that.
That's right. That's right.
You understand?
Yes.
We didn't just, when there was a hurricane or something going on, you didn't hear about us getting wiped out, getting stuck in the plains and in the fields. We knew what was coming. In fact, we would call whatever we needed to call to come.
Right.
Are you seeing that?
Right.
And so we have dominion over that, but now we've got to redevelop that. But we've got to let go of the old psychology in order to use our minds to develop it.
That's right.
Power, love, synergetic compatibility. We've replaced love with like. In other words, we like what we really love, we say we like it. What we really like, we say we love it. So we're over here saying to somebody, I love you, but you really just like it. And we're saying, I like you, I like that person, but you really love it. What do you mean? When you really love something, you should be in synergetic compatibility with it. Meaning that we fit. We're not getting together out of convenience. I'm not going to get with you just because you called me. Just because you happen to be in the same place, because I don't know if anything better's coming along. That's second nature thinking. Because I'm thinking I may be alone. First nature is I'm never alone. First nature is I can call into existence what I want. First nature is I'm the creator. I'm the projector. I create what I want, exactly what I want. Second nature is it's happenstance. It's lucky. I was lucky to find you. That's not what we want to deal with. We want to deal with synergetic compatibility. And then finally, sound mind. What is a sound mind? A sound mind is energetic perception. In other words, I stop looking at things materially. I no longer look at money as green paper. I understand that currency is what they call it, is actually a current of energy in which I must get into the flow of. When I get into the flow of wealth, wealth flows to me. Because we all know the dollar is not really worth anything. It's a promissory note. A promissory note of what? What are you being promised? What's backing that up? Nothing. Are you understanding? So the true power is access to what that promissory note promises. And the way you get that access is by having an energy perception that draws to you through the law of attraction what you want to receive. Mosaic law, this down here is terrestrial. This is terrestrial law. Everything down here, including Mosaic law. All the confines of society are down here. Everything, all the spiritual laws are up here. So Arun, which is our root, tells us that we had a destiny that we architecturally designed that we must connect to. But in the lower second nature, Arun is understood. I'm talking about people that are on the earth level. They understand, oh, Arun is connected with earth. Arun tells you your fate, predicts your fate, right? Arun needs to be offered food. That's not the highest level of offering. The highest level of offering is to offer yourself as a living sacrifice, holy and acceptable. You feel me?
Yeah.
Arun, when you read the stories or the traditions, they are now infused with stories like our story, right? Arun ran and got with another Orisha, and they dated and they made a mockery of this and a mockery of that, and then they went back over on this side, and somebody got mad at this Orisha and got mad at that Orisha. Now they having family conflict. We don't want to deal with none of that. You like it? Look, deal with it. But this is not the way that this force wants to be seen. This is not the way this force wants to be seen. And our liberation will not come in the second nature. Okay? Now, once you understand your identity, once you get your identity straight, now you can move to the next level. Because these are evolutions. Oshun. Oshun, the sacral chakra.
Yes.
The sacral chakra is not going to turn effectively if the root chakra is still messed up. So if you don't believe in yourself or feel like you are somebody special in the root, then your relationship's going to automatically be messed up. Because you will be looking for people to complete you or to validate you rather than partnering with you in what you already are. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Same thing in business. You'll go out and look for somebody to give you the business you want to have, right?
Yeah.
Rather than doing what is necessary to build it for yourself. So, the root chakra needs to be turned. And in order for the root chakra to turn, you must loose yourself from the pure terrestrial identification that you have known. You cannot just see yourself as an earth dweller. You must see yourself as an interdimensional traveler. That you have lives on every level of dimension. When you see yourself, you cannot just see the physical, you must see the spiritual as well. So, when the root chakra begins to turn, now you're ready for relationship. Now you're ready for intimacy. You can't even understand. I'm not just talking about physical, sexual intimacy. I'm talking true intimacy is to really envelop a connection between you and another energy. Not another person physically, but another energy. So if you don't know yourself, then the person you're with can't know you.
Come on.
If you're putting on a show and a front of who and what you really are, then nobody can really understand. I don't care, even if it's your child. If you're being fake with your parent, then your parent can never really truly be intimate with you. Same thing with a parent and a child.
Right.
When we're trying to put on a show, like we never made a mistake.
Right.
Come on.
We ain't never done nothing wrong. We the most perfect people in human history. Well, how the child gonna be intimate with you?
Right.
How is the child gonna truly feel what you're saying? And what happens when you say I love you
Come on.
through jagged energy?
Whoa, man, say that again.
So, in order for energy to take place, in order for intimacy to take place, transference has to take place between the two energies.
Exactly.
Okay? In order for transference to take place between the two energies, right?
Yes, sir.
Well, what am I transferring? When you say I love you,
Come on.
right?
Yes, sir.
That don't mean nothing.
That's right.
How many of you got? I know I had some folks say they love me, they ain't mean none of that. And they'll say it all emotional. I love you. I love you. Look in my eyes. Look at all of that.
Oh my God.
Right? Some people say they love you right after you give them something. Oh, I love you for this. Huh? Love you. Say I love you because it go good with the moment. Later on, they can't remember. Oh, did I say that? So what we're really talking about with Oshun is we're invoking the feminine principle
Exactly. Come on, sir.
of relationship and intimacy.
Say it, man.
I'm invoking the principle of relationship and intimacy when I invoke her. She's beautiful. The energy is beautiful. And when they tell the story, one of the stories that they tell of Oshun that you have to bring into esoteric space instead of literal space is how she's being chased by someone who is in lust and rage, right? And she falls into the river, right? She's a goddess of rivers. She falls into the river now because she's being chased. Now, look at it like this, by the ideology of the social fantasy. Being chased by stress, being chased by pain, being chased by negative memories. Have you ever been chased? Being chased by exes, being chased by mistakes, until you would rather drown than hear it in your mind again.
There you go.
But she's in the river now. And she's got a choice to either drown or swim. To either learn to flow with the tide or to be encapsulated and imprisoned by the tide. You understand? So she becomes the river. She becomes the water. She takes on the nature of water. Are you seeing it? Right? So when we say anywhere they wear the Nite Ochun, anywhere they wear the Nite Ochun, right? When we're saying this beautiful mantra, Ota Kaniba Nita Ochun, Cheke Nita Ya Ide Were. When we are saying that, we're talking about returning to the idea of becoming one with the water. Now, when you look at the water, you got to understand that water has a variety of symbols. One of the symbols for water that you find throughout any of the scriptures is water is spirit. So, what is Oshun? Oshun, when we talk about transference, is the transference of spirit, the transference of energy. So I can say I love you, that don't mean nothing. I cannot say anything.
Right. It's everything.
I can just look at you
Right.
and you can feel my love.
Right.
In fact, most of the time it's better if I don't say nothing.
Right.
Khalil Gibran says that words are half murder. That feeling is half murdered when they become words and leave your mouth.
That's right.
Right? When this energy rides and puts itself in words, it's not as the same as when I touch you.
Yeah.
And that's not the same as when I send it with just pure energy. Okay? So, what is this energy? What is the spirit? It is chi, or prana, or in Hebrew, ruah. It is, what is it in science? Electromagnetic energy.
That's right. Right.
You are the greatest conductor of electrical current on the planet, in the universe.
That's right. That's right.
You are a miniature sun.
Thank you.
All of you.
Yes.
You understand that?
Yes.
You have more power. That's why whenever electricity is around, you got to be careful.
Yeah.
Because you'll be shocked.
Yeah.
Because the electricity has found God.
Whoa.
It has found what it is meant to build.
Oh my goodness.
Are you understanding?
Yes, sir.
So it will be immediately drawn to you. Now this has been depreciated into a spiritual high experience, and when we feel the energy, we start foaming at the mouth and rolling over and all that.
Right.
But in a real sense, our ancestors understood that the chi is electromagnetic energy, and this is why they ran water under the pyramids, which were not tombs,
Right.
but chambers to increase the electromagnetic energy of those that went inside of them. Are you with me?
Yeah.
We have designed a self-empowerment center, right? Irrespective to where it's located, irrespective to what you see, this is a center of chi and electromagnetic force. That when we come together, we are building our chi.
Yeah.
You can't get that on Facebook. Sorry. You can get some good wisdom, but you cannot get the energy that we are spreading from one person here.
That's it.
And every day, as somebody said, I think it was Yaya, every day they're trying to get you to create an artificial expression of electromagnetic energy through selfies and those little icons with the smile and all of that. Right? You send somebody a little smiley face. Okay, I sent you some good energy. That ain't energy. That's a fraud and a fake.
Wow.
Yeah.
You are becoming artificial intelligence.
Wow.
So the true connection of transference is being lost.
That's right.
So what we really need to do is to send each other electromagnetic energy and understand that begins with breath.
Right. Right.
You say, what do you mean? Because most of us don't think about how we breathe. I don't have time to go through all that right now. But we don't think about how we breathe. Right?
Right.
You say, I don't understand why you have so many restrictions on what I eat. Why do you have so many restrictions on how much I'm supposed to meditate? You got to understand, to build this electromagnetic energy, right? You can't be huffing and puffing and tired all the time. You can't do all that.
That's right. That's right. That's right. So true.
You can't do that.
Right.
You have got to train your body to be able to breathe. To the extent that the body no longer needs the normal physical breath, but you become the breath itself. So that you are now breathing at a slower rate than somebody would say you need to breathe to even be alive. So when you start talking about Yeshua,
Right.
and you start talking about great yogis, You have to understand that these are the methodologies they use to get great power.
Exactly.
To the extent that when you touch somebody that is on that level of consciousness or spirituality,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
You can actually receive energy from them
Right.
that will increase your power.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thus, the touching of the hem of the garment.
Right.
Yes.
Well, how do you do that? You do that through discipline. You do that through breathing
Right.
first.
Right.
Then you move into the yogic practices.
Right.
Now, I'm not. Yoga is an eightfold path. It's not just one thing. The postures is one part of it. It's not everything. That's just asana. Just one branch. But when you look at the hieroglyphs and you see them in these various positions,
Oh, there you go.
you are seeing them in positions that turn their bodies into an electromagnetic field,
Right.
so that they can receive more energy. So that they have the ability to move the stones. Didn't no slaves move those stones?
Right.
There's absolutely no archaeological evidence whatsoever supporting a people in slavery in Egypt.
Right. Right.
None.
Wow.
So how did they move the stones?
Wow.
Right? How did the Aztec build their temples? Through the mind.
That's right.
Through understanding the electromagnetic field.
Right.
And while you're sitting there watching magic shows, like, oh, wait, oh, he defied gravity. Look at you,
Thank you.
right?
Yes, sir.
I mean, when you see Jordan flying through the sky back in the day, that was just a symptom. You have been defying, you have seen gravity defiance all your life. Let's keep moving. So electromagnetic energy now is what Oshun is teaching us to impart to each other. Why? Because she is bringing us peace, harmony, and balance. When our chi is flowing, we're healthy.
Right.
When our chi is flowing, we're in love. We feel love. Right? It is only when the chi is inhibited that we don't feel love, we don't feel healthy, we don't feel wealthy, and we feel out of sorts. And thus we go down on the emotional guidance scale and don't have any power. Okay? Now, how do we get this electromagnetic energy going? I talked about breathing. The concept I want to talk to you for a few more moments about today is emotional intelligence.
Come on.
Your emotions are what?
Energy for emotion.
Your emotions are energy that you put in motion. That's emotional. That's what your emotions are. So emotional intelligence is to put energies
Come on.
in motion
Come on.
that are in support of the I am vibration.
That's right.
So when somebody brings news to you, brings an opinion to you, brings news, whatever, they bring that to you, bring a psychology to you, you have a choice whether that you will put that energy in motion or not.
Wow.
If you put that energy in motion, you would then be subject to the electromagnetic pull of that particular energy.
That's right.
Wow.
That's right.
This is one of the reasons that doctors can be so dangerous. Because when a doctor comes up and tells you something, they have now given you an energy that you have to choose to put in motion.
That's right.
And depending on the state of your root chakra, you may or may not be strong enough to resist that energy.
Come on. Come on.
When your ex calls, sorry for using the example, but you brought it out. You brought it out, didn't you? You put your business on the drink. So, when his ex calls him,
Right. Right.
she's bringing him an energy
Thank you.
of guilt.
Right. Right.
I need you to see this. Last week we talked about themes.
Right. There you
Yeah,
go.
right, that's right. Yeah.
There you go.
So you got to understand that the corporate ego, because it's not get out of the idea of people.
Right.
That's right.
We talking about energy, right?
That's right.
So that energy that came was a theme, right?
Right.
What theme was she trying to give him?
Guilt.
Sound it out. What was one of them? I just said
Shame.
guilt, shame,
Fear.
fear. He said that one.
Yeah.
Fear,
Yeah.
doubt,
Anxiety.
anxiety.
Yeah.
You see that?
Word.
Word.
What you say?
Worry.
Worry.
Yep.
And that's a child of anxiety.
Yes, sir.
Well, actually, anxiety is a child of worry, which are all children of fear. You see that?
Yes, sir.
So these are things that were put in his life.
That's right. That's right.
Okay?
Come on, man. Come on.
Now, once that theme is in there, you can't concentrate on the person that called you.
That's right. That's right. Right.
You got to understand that if that moves you,
Right. They'll do it.
then the corporate ego will create another entity.
Yes.
Don't have anything to do with her
Yep.
to come and bring these same emotions back to you again.
Same thing. Same thing. That's right.
So the next time, it might not be her, right? It might be your boss.
Yeah. Right.
And the boss is not coming to talk to him about his phone call.
Right.
The boss is coming to you to talk about, well, we may have some layoffs coming in the future.
Yeah.
And I really wanted to protect you, but you really didn't get this particular thing done. You didn't have the sales that I thought you should have.
Right.
So I really can't make you immune to the next layoff.
Right.
You see that?
Guilt.
So then he feels guilt. You say, well, how does he feel guilt? Well, he's got a family to take care of.
Right.
I didn't make my sales done.
Right.
So guilt, fear, shame, guilt, all that goes back.
Right.
Are you seeing that?
Yeah.
So as he gets that thing now,
Yeah.
the I am vibration lowers.
Right.
As the I am vibration lowers now, he becomes susceptible to more negative energy.
Right.
So now you start to actually see the materialization of these negative emotions.
Right.
Man, it's some good teaching, man. Are you kidding me? You can't deny this. It's science. It's science.
Yes, sir.
So he is sitting there. Now you got all these things going.
Right.
Then you'll have somebody that's innocent that didn't do any of this.
Yeah.
Right? So here comes Melissa. Here comes his wife.
Right.
Right? She's had a great day. Right?
Right.
And she just wants to give him some love. I don't feel like that right now. Okay, all right. What's wrong with you? You see what I mean? Now, he feels bad because she's sad because of how he treated her.
He's guilty again.
Now you getting it. Now you getting it. So now he feels bad. If he don't have,
Come on.
so yeah, if he don't have the emotional intelligence to recognize these things
There you go. There you go.
and see the setup that's coming with Melissa, he gonna be in trouble.
Yeah.
Are y'all seeing this?
Low vibration.
I mean, when you're sitting there and one person after another come with bad news, here's another problem. Here's another problem. You understand?
Right.
And people are constantly trying to make you feel like another emotion you might have is, I'm not getting anywhere. I'm not going anywhere in my life. Where I thought I would be at this age, I'm not there. Right?
Yes, sir.
And you're feeling it. Right? Then a bill comes. And the bill reminds you of what's going on with your bank account. So you get deeper in. So what you have got to do is speak to this energy.
Right.
You got to call Oshun.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You got to call, right, your help from the energy field.
Right.
And what's so beautiful about it is you're not just calling any abstract thing.
Right.
You're calling on emotional intelligence, relationship, and intimacy with the I am principle. Remind me who I am. Wash me in this water. Wash me in this beautiful living water that can bring me back to myself.
Right, brother.
That's it. That's it.
And that's what you did.
Yes. Yes.
Because what happened is, as he started to move into the I am vibration, he said, I looked at my old self.
Come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
Right? That was the second nature.
Second thing. There you go. Yes.
Right? Faith, food, earth, money, water, you know what I'm saying? Stuff that you need to survive. You didn't take that energy into that conversation.
That's right.
He took the energy of the I am vibration, power, love, sound, mind. He took all of that into the conversation because he was emotionally intelligent enough to realize what was going on. Do you see that?
Yes, sir.
Good. Now, once you use your emotional intelligence to recognize the thing, do you know how many good relationships have been broken up because people don't know this?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. That's right.
Because for one thing, once people get too deep, they don't know how to back out.
That's it. That's it. That's it.
People don't know how to say, listen, I was at work, this happened, and what I felt was unappreciated. Because I felt unappreciated, when you asked me for something, I didn't know subconsciously I was feeling unappreciated. Are you seeing this? I didn't know, right? But I worked there for X amount of years. I never got a raise. I never got any of this. So I felt unappreciated, but I didn't know it. When you asked me for something, I didn't think like, oh, this person, here's another needy person, right? But the fact that you didn't give me love before you gave me a request. You didn't give me connection before you gave me an order. Exacerbated the subconscious mindset of not feeling appreciated. And thus I responded this way. Now, I've got to be strong enough, emotionally intelligent enough to find that vibration in my subconscious mind and then come to you and tell you that.
Right.
Now I got to be brave enough to say, listen, I don't feel appreciated.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Come on.
Now the person on the other side, talking about intimacy, right?
Yeah.
The person on the other side's got to be strong enough to hear that and not take it personally.
That's right. That's right.
That's right. That's right. That's right. That's right.
Thank you.
When we do that, when we start doing this, we flow.
Multiply that cheek. Come on.
We flow. That's right. You're going to multiply the cheek.
Right.
That as time goes along, you're going to start multiplying the cheek. And the sacral chakra now is going to start turning.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
And this is where birth takes place.
Come on.
All right
Now down here, when we're talking about water, fertility, and pleasure, Oshun is in the material plane is connected to water, connected to fertility, connected to pleasure, right? Connected to, and they give her food, right? And they got stories of lower vibration. Well, down here, you know, the end result is a physical birth. But here, the end result is a spiritual birth.
Yes, sir.
In the first nature. Y'all with me?
Yeah.
All right. Let me catch up to my notes here, because I have actually moved through several of these slides. So now, we're talking about water. When we're really talking about spirit, we're talking about your emotions and your energy. I've shown you how themes work, right? So now, you know that you have chi. You have electromagnetic energy. Question is if we call that water, for now, right? If we call that water, is it alkaline?
There you go.
Is it alkaline?
There you go.
Disease can't live in an alkaline body.
That's right.
Right? Negative emotion can't live in an alkaline mind.
That's right. That's right.
Exactly.
You understand? So you got to alkaline your mind. Look at this now. This is the essence of water. This is the essence of electromagnetic energy. Right?
Right.
It can bring death or life.
There you go. It's
Is that not true of water?
Straight
Right.
up.
Water can bring death or life.
Yes.
It can nourish crops or it can wipe out a whole civilization.
That's right.
It can nourish or it can be toxic.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Water represents the chi or energy that flows from through every human being. It's the vital electric magnetic energy. Now, water, which does not flow, becomes toxic.
Yeah.
That's right.
So if you leave water out,
Right.
right?
Right.
Out, exposed to the elements,
Yeah.
not moving, over a period of time, you can no longer drink that water.
That's right.
It becomes toxic and it creates a septic condition in the body. This is true of electromagnetic energy as well.
Exactly.
This is true of the spirit.
Uh-huh.
If your spirit, if your energy is not flowing
Thank you.
Yeah.
because of your submission to themes,
Yes, sir.
it will stay in your body, it will stay in your mind and become toxic.
Right.
Once the mind is toxic, it will deliver a message of toxicity through the brain.
Okay.
The brain, through the neurotransmitters, will speak to the body.
Right.
Yeah.
And the body will become toxic.
Yeah.
And then your environment, because you're emanating that energy out into your environment, then your environment becomes toxic.
Yes.
So much so that they say, where there is no vision, the people perish. My people perish for a lack of knowledge. There's no movement of energy. So a people that don't have a energy that don't have a community that is moving, that is vibrant, that is building something, become toxic.
Yeah.
You call it a ghetto. You call it the hood. But what it is that the electromagnetic field in that community has become toxic because there is no mental energy moving in the minds of the people.
That's right.
Spiders, right?
Even if I tell you the same story about your life over and over again, that's toxic water.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
You say, well, I'm telling you the history. No, but you're telling me the same history.
Yeah.
If you keep telling me the same history and it never changes,
Right.
right?
Right.
I used to go to this church, and every year they had the same Black History play.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm like you now. What's the lady that got on the bus?
Rosa Parks.
Rosa Parks. I got so tired of seeing that little girl get up on that bus, and the bus driver was black. But I'm like, that you need to put some paint on him or something.
Right.
Show the distinction.
Right.
Yeah.
Every single toxic.
Yeah.
Toxic. Never being able to identify yourself with a Nubian identity. Taking 400 years as the primal historical representation of self when you have been here for millions of years.
Yeah.
Not being able to create a distinct track from Nubia, from Kemet, Sudan, and Ethiopia, and understanding your migration into the West African coast, and understanding your migration through the Dravidians into India, and through the Indus Valley, and into Asia, and across the Bering Strait, and here. Not understanding that you were here before Columbus. That Columbus discovered America for them, not for you. You were already here, already knew all of this.
Right.
Why is it significant? Because without the flow of our energy back and forth, then it becomes toxic.
Yes, sir.
So we're drinking toxic water, historically.
Historically, yes.
So it creates a septic condition. And in this context, negative emotion, when often and accepted, causes ailments in our mind, in the body, and the spirit. Understand this now. When you go out here, when you leave out here, selfish, unloving, unforgiving, vindictive, bitter people have toxic water. You don't even have to ask.
Sure don't. Right.
You say, well, why is a selfish person toxic? They're not moving no energy.
Right.
You have actually got to give in order for your energy to flow.
Yes.
So if you're a person that's constantly holding on to your cash, holding on, you don't buy nobody no gifts. You know, you don't give any love, right? You just to yourself, because you scared it might not be there. You right, it ain't gonna be there, because the law of attraction is not working for you. Are you understand? That's toxic. Selfish people toxic, right? You do stuff for them, they don't do anything for you. You understand? They don't give you a kind word. They don't give you a card. They don't give you a massage. They don't do anything. They just toxic. Toxic. You understand? Children can be toxic if they're selfish. If you're constantly giving, and that child, you have to teach your children this. You want them to be toxic? No. You have to teach them. You need to give. You haven't given in a minute.
Right. Say it, sir.
Now, there's a difference between doing your responsibilities and giving. You understand what I'm saying? Right? There's a difference between me giving my wife a gift and just being a man, doing what I'm supposed to do. There's a difference.
It is a difference.
A gift is a surprise. That's right. A gift is something you didn't expect. A gift is something that costs you more than the norm. That's a gift. You understand? When you are selfish, the energy is not flowing. People that are unloving. People that got a frown on their face all the time. Every time you see them, they complain. Run! Run! That's toxic.
Yeah.
That's toxic. If you're a person that complains all the time, your water is not moving. Complaints do not move the water.
Wow.
They dam the water.
Right.
Every complaint is a dam in Oshun's river. You don't want her to blow you up trying to get her water through.
Wow.
Unforgiving. Every people that are unforgiving, that can't let stuff go. I put a note on Facebook this week. Right? Y'all saw that? There's a difference between giving up and releasing. Giving up is when you're working on something you know you need to get done, you get tired, you get fatigued, you get frustrated, and you say, to hell with it, I'm not going to do it, even though you need to do it. Release is when you know that this is something that's toxic.
Yeah.
And because you know it's toxic, you let it go. So I've got an emotion about this person. I have a right to have that emotion about this person, but it's toxic. It's killing me. It's aging me.
Wow.
It's keeping me from being capable of being loving enough to move my chi energy to draw to me the kind of person I want. It's even keeping me from sending them the electromagnetic charge necessary for them to evolve and transform. I want you to change, but I can't get you to change if I'm resentful.
Right.
But because that seems like the natural emotion, I'm glad you said that. Whoever y'all said that. You're right. It is a natural emotion to be pissed as hell. But that's second nature. You got to lift the vibration higher than that. You got to see them as you want to experience them.
Wow.
You understand? The greatest ministry is for me to see you already as you need to be. Let me push on. Now,
That's good.
vindictive people. This is one of the best ones. Bitter. I mean, there's a lot of bitter people. They mad because what they didn't get. They mad because of where they grew up. They mad because of who they not with. All of that, they're bitter. You understand? That's one of the fastest ways to end up in shiftless. That's one of the fastest ways to end up at the bar. Right? Not for a sip. Don't act like y'all know what I'm talking about. It's real business. Now, Hootie got up here and said all kind of stuff. Like we don't know what SOB is. We know what you're talking about. Well, I had to tease him about that. Bitter people. Don't hold on to anything, man. Don't hold on to anything, man. You gotta let stuff go. You're not giving them a free pass. You're releasing yourself. You understand?
Yeah.
That's why you're not going to hear me get into the hate stuff. I'm talking to you. You understand? I love you. I'm not here for them. I'm here for you. As long as our focus is on something that is negative and destroying us, then we are actually empowering them. Right? When you sit there and tell your enemy, I'm afraid.
Come on, man.
When you sit there and ask your enemy, we want justice. You're telling your enemy that. See, you gotta build yourself. So what you say, there is no other choice. You understand it? But as long as you're asking somebody outside of yourself for something, you won't get it. Now, so the sacral chakra is associated with emotional stability, intimacy, and relationship. Its element is water, characterized by flow and flexibility. Positive emotion can cleanse, purify. Look at this now. So, in a little while, I'm going to, not today, but in a later date, I'm going to give you some power emotions. Because you need to, and if you have the emotional guidance scale from a previous job, you know what the positive emotions are. So when you find a theme going on, look, now, it's deep that you came here today because you just really helped me with this job. Because when he was going through that situation, he didn't say, I tried to figure out what would make her calm down. He didn't say that. Who remembers what he said? I'm really acting like this is a class thing. What did he say he did? What did he think about?
his wife, his
Say it.
child, his wife, his positive emotion, his
He
positive,
said, I thought about my wife.
yeah, his child.
I thought about my child.
His peace.
My peace.
I thought about my peace.
I thought about how much I love my wife, how much I love my child, and how much I love my peace.
Are you seeing this?
That's what he thought about. Come on.
That's what he thought about.
That's what he thought about.
Now look, it's deep. It's deep.
Yeah, it is.
Because here he is, faced.
I'd rather be
It's
thinking
the
about
same thing.
Right, yeah, rather be
Here he is, faced
Right.
with an obstacle.
Right.
But rather than give the motion to the energy, the negative energy,
Yeah.
he gave motion to positive energy that he'd rather be thinking about.
Right. Emotional intelligence.
So those of you that grew up in the church,
Yep.
when it says resist the devil.
Amen.
You understand? Resist evil. How do I resist it?
Think about something.
You can't see it.
Yeah.
You know? I went around looking for somebody in a red jumpsuit, you know, like they have on a hot sauce bottle. Never found him.
Oh, wow.
But that person that's calling him
Uh-huh.
on the phone,
Uh-huh.
that's the devil.
Yep.
The doctor walking in the room giving you negative emotion, devil.
Devil.
See it in, devil.
Right.
Y'all feel me?
Yeah.
So by us focusing on
Yeah.
a different ideology, so here's the challenge,
Come on.
right?
That's the challenge. Come on.
The challenge for us collectively is to focus on our glory,
Right. Right.
on our power,
Yeah.
what we did and what we are doing and have done. Not within the context of overcoming, right? Some enemy here. But the collective power that we are as greatness around the world.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
When we place our focus on that, so you sit down, you say, I want to have a business. Sit down and go through all of the black millionaires. Read their stories one by one. Put them on YouTube. Listen to their interviews. Then turn around and interview yourself in the position mentally that you're already there.
Right.
Don't leave yourself out. I'm not telling you to do that to glorify them. I'm telling you to do that so you can get enough electromagnetic power
Yeah.
to see yourself in that position. Put yourself in that same seat across from that same interviewer and answer those questions the way you would
Right.
as a millionaire
Right. Sir.
in first nature.
Yes, sir.
You understand? So, positive emotion cleanses, purifies, it anoints, it activates when used externally. So, this is going to create an atmospheric condition around you that will actually be a force field against that negativity.
Okay.
You understand?
Yes, sir.
The less that is on your mind, the stronger that force field will be. You see that? So this is one of the reasons that the ego and these negative energies want to put a lot on your mind, because the more that's on your mind, the less your intent is to build your own electromagnetic energy. That's why when you get tired and you get attacked, you're more vulnerable. Are you seeing that? So in order for you to really be a healer, you got to get some rest. You understand what I'm saying? So that's why you got to tell people, no, I can't do that. I've got to rest. Don't touch me right now. I've got to recalibrate. You see what I'm saying? Okay, all right, good. Almost done. Okay, it can heal you. Positive emotion can heal. This is water, it's living water. Can heal you, refresh you, replenish you when ingested. Personally contemplated on your own positive emotion. People who, now look at this. People who constantly release. I'm constantly releasing. Somebody said something ugly, I'm releasing. Somebody cut me over on the freeway, I gotta release that.
Yes, sir. Exactly.
You can feel it. I know you can feel it. Because I released just then. On a micro level. You understand? You got to build the chi, right? The dispensation of that chi to the extent that when you breathe, the whole room changes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And when we do it collectively, the whole world changes.
Say it.
Right?
Wow.
constant release. Vishnu says this all the time. Smile. Even when you don't feel like it. Smile. Don't you understand that every enemy wants to take away your smile? Don't you understand that was number one priority of the X? Take away your smile? Listen. I gotta tell you this. I gotta show you this. If she could have taken it, she called you earlier in the week. If she could have taken away his smile, the little Asian lady would have never saw it. So his vanity would have never. Sorry if y'all late, y'all hear the story too bad. Hey, don't see you. But look at this. If she could have taken his smile, the Asian lady wouldn't have seen it. If the little Asian lady hadn't seen the smile, she wouldn't have cut the towel. If she, you see how positive working thing?
Yeah.
You see how positive working thing? I ain't done yet though. I ain't done. Hold on, I ain't done yet. So because she didn't take his smile and he went into the higher nature, maintained the positive emotion, showed it to the Asian lady, she cut the towel. He got a story out of it. Y'all see where I'm going? He got the story out of it. He came up here, told the story to help explain to you what Oshua's trying to say to you. All because of positive emotion. It's living water. It's living water. It's the living water. Aches and pains will try to take your smile. Don't let it. You understand? Right? Everything that comes against you to take your smile, you can't let it. You got to release. You got to smile. Okay? Now, how do we do this? I'll give you a couple of points. Okay? When water is cloudy, it's very easy for dangerous objects and predators to hide. So when you don't take out time to think about how you feel and deal with that emotion you're feeling, your water's cloudy. Don't make a move until the water becomes clear. Okay? Next, thus we have to purify our water to see what's beneath the surface. It's not about you. When you're dealing with these people and they're coming against you, you have to realize you're an electromagnetic force. When they're ugly to you, when they cut you off, when they treat you ill, they are doing what the energy field demands of them as the antithesis of your positive energy. The narcissist, the selfish person, the unforgiving person must attack you. They don't have a choice. You understand? The traitor has to do it. So don't take it personal. It's not about you. People, now, it's not about you. Also, because you're an ascended master and you're an empath, and you always want to be the savior. I'm looking at everybody, y'all. If you in here, and you gonna have, and there's any hope of you coming back, that means you're an ascended master. Number one. And otherwise, you be ready. You chopping it back. I can't wait to get the hell out of there. Yeah, but if you with me and you understand the words that's coming out of my speech, you're an ascended master. That also means you're an empath. And as an empath, I need you to understand that people are responsible for their own perception.
Right. Yes.
You need to stop trying to go and get people to see stuff differently because you were somehow involved when the opinion came over. Well, maybe they didn't understand what I said. Let me call them, make sure they really understand what I was trying to say about what I did. Are you mad? Well, you sounded like you're mad. Well, you look like you're upset. You sure? Because I didn't mean it. Stop.
Stomping.
Stop. You're not responsible for their perception. You're not responsible for their emotions. You're not responsible for them following directions.
Right.
You're not responsible for them following directions. You did your business. It might be painful, but sometimes with children you got to do that. I told you that was the end. I told you that wasn't good for you. You won't keep running back over that. Well, at a certain point, I gotta let you see for yourself. You might be my best friend. Love you. Told you I didn't think that was a good idea, but you just had to keep on doing it, huh? You keep on eating that. You keep on drinking that. I told you that's not the way. Okay, well now you got to deal with the consequences. And but I'm not talking. I ain't worried about them. I'm talking to you. You cannot accept that toxic water into your life. You did your bit. You did your bit. You did your bit. Stop rehearsing what you could have done different.
There you go.
That's not the I am vibration.
Well said.
Are you seeing that? Okay, now, when you take responsibility for these things, you take away your right to flow. If they damn themselves into a false psychology, don't follow them into the dam.
Oh.
I'm going to tell you one more thing, I'm going to let you go. So, no, I can't do it.
There you go.
Look, be water, but don't be wet. Be pure energy. Water causes other things that are dry to be wet. That which becomes wet had to be dry in its inception. What am I saying to you? If I had time, I'd make you answer me and tell me what that means. I'm going to tell you. What I'm saying to you is that you have to influence other people. Not let other people influence you. You be water. Right? But don't be wet. Don't let them wet you up. Don't you be wet. You be water. You set the bar. You set how the energy is going to flow. We must connect with people, but not attach. I'm going to connect with you. I'm going to give you love. I'm going to give you positive vibrations. I'm going to smile. I'm going to see you in your best possible situation. But I'm not going to attach to the outcome because that's not my fault. Say it. That's not my fault.
That's not my fault.
It's not my responsibility.
It's not my responsibility.
What you do.
What you do.
Or where you are.
Or where you are.
It's not your fault. It's not your responsibility. Release. Let it go. Let it go.
Let it go.
Otherwise, you won't be able to flow. Your needs, feelings, and dreams are just as important as theirs. Stop putting everybody else ahead of yourself. Like you don't need time to yourself. Like you don't need rest. Like you don't deserve to be considered. Are you understanding what I'm saying to you? Yes. Where you just sit there and you just a slave. And you can't feel like you can sit down and be comfortable till everybody else is happy. Sit down. Rest. Relax. You're no good to any of them dead.
Right.
Tired. There you go. So your stuff is just as important as theirs. Right? Don't fix their food, don't fix yours. Right? You got them a good healthy meal and you eating toxic. Are you hearing me?
Yes.
Right? You don't get no massage. Right? You don't get no spa day, nothing. You just working. Right? Then when you stretched out somewhere, not here. When you stretched out. Right? And that's what you're gonna do. When you everybody come out and say, oh, that was a good person. They were a loving person. And that'll be the end of it, and they're gonna move on. Take care of yourself, man. Lastly, thank y'all for letting me get through. Give yourself a big hand clap. I don't know if I'm over or not. So, do you know how much I had to go through to get here? Man, I'd have been through, boy. Cycle, no. Lastly, when you feel overwhelmed, and all the energies are coming at you at once,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Remember your sacral chakra. In a calm, meditative state, breathe.
Yeah.
That's the first thing. Breathe. Take a deep breath in. Hold it. Allow it to feel that solar plexus. And then exhale. If you feel like you gotta go right after that, you're not ready. Keep breathing until you no longer have to gasp for that next breath.
That's right.
Then you will start to feel yourself coming into center. You breathe in, hold it, exhale. Breathe first. In a calm meditative state from your deepest heart. You have to feel your deepest emotion saying, I want peace, I want harmony, I want balance.
Yeah.
I want to be in a positive space because I know that that is the hill where my help comes from. That's the height of the bio-vibrational frequency. That's the top of the emotional guidance scale. So I need to get there. So I need positive emotion. Are you with me? Yes. When you get to that space, that's what you want. At that moment, call on the force of Oshun. Oshun. Bring me peace. Bring me harmony. Bring me balance. Bring me my flow back. You understand?
Oh, yeah.
Feel her presence in it. Then visualize this powerful God is patrolling your energy field. See your energy field as watery, a river around you. And see her moving, circling around you with her energy hand out in front, emanating power to you from all sides. Are you saying this? Visualize this powerful God is patrolling your energy field, encircling you, protecting you, and pushing you out to shore. So that when you have to go back to shore and deal with the social fantasy again, it's her, you're going with her blessing, not because of them contriving or forcing you to enter in. Ashe?
Ashe.
Thank you for listening. Make contribution.
Ire